My boyfriend and I met during the worst moment of high school. He's now my everything. When I think about where we started, I still can't believe where we ended up. My name is Lena. I'm 24 years old, and this is the story of how the worst afternoon of my teenage life handed me the best person I have ever known. I was 17, junior year, the kind of year that arrives with weight already attached, college pressure, social hierarchies at their most vicious, the particular exhaustion of trying to be several versions of yourself simultaneously for different audiences. I had been publicly humiliated that afternoon. Not dramatically, nothing cinematic. A group of girls I had considered friends had spent 3 weeks constructing a situation designed specifically to embarrass me, and it had worked exactly as designed in front of exactly the people they intended. The details are theirs, and I stopped giving them space in my story years ago. What matters is that I ended up in the stairwell at the far east end of school, the one nobody used, the one that smelled like old paint and dust, sitting on the third step from the bottom with my knees pulled up, crying in the specific silent way of someone who is trying very hard not to be heard. His name is Theo. He came down those stairs carrying a photography project, looking for different light, and found me instead. He was in my grade but existed in a different orbit entirely. Quiet, observant, the kind of person who moves through crowded hallways like he's slightly outside them, watching rather than performing. We had never spoken directly. I knew his face the way you know everyone's face in a school of 400 people without knowing anything true about them. He stopped on the step above me. I looked up and felt the specific mortification of being witnessed in a moment you would have chosen any audience but one. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't offer advice or comfort, or the reflexive social performance of someone who doesn't know what to do with another person's pain. He sat down on the step beside me, set his camera between his feet, and said, "This stairwell has genuinely terrible acoustics. Nobody can hear anything from out there." It was the exact right thing to say, not because it was comforting, but because it was practical and kind and quietly told me I was safe without making a production of it. I laughed. Just barely. Just enough. We sat there for 40 minutes. We talked about nothing important, his photography project, a book I was reading, the particular awfulness of the cafeteria's Thursday menu. By the time I stood up to leave, something had shifted. Not dramatically. Just the way light shifts when a cloud moves. The same world, slightly different visibility. He texted me that evening. He had found my number through a mutual friend with an honesty I found disarming. He said he wanted to make sure I was okay and that he hoped that wasn't strange. It wasn't strange. We talked until 2 in the morning. What followed was not a movie romance. It was slower and realer than that. 2 teenagers who found each other in a bad moment and discovered they made the bad moments more survivable. He came to my house during exam stress with snacks and no agenda. I sat with him through a difficult family period, saying little but staying. We learned each other in the quiet, accumulative way that becomes something unshakable before you notice it's happened. We have been together 6 years now. He still has the camera from that day. It sits on a shelf in our apartment, which still sometimes surprises me as a phrase I get to use. And occasionally, he takes it down and shoots a roll of film the old way. Unhurried, looking for different light. Last month I came home to find a photograph framed on the kitchen counter. He had dug through old prints and found one he'd taken that same week we met. Just the stairwell, empty. Afternoon light coming through the small window at the top landing. The dust in the air visible and golden. No note, just the image. I stood looking at it for a long time. That stairwell that smelled like old paint and dust. That third step from the bottom. That worst afternoon that had sent me looking for somewhere to be invisible. It had sent me directly to him. I called him at work just to say I loved him. He answered on the second ring and said he knew and that he loved me back, and then asked what I wanted for dinner with the casual warmth of someone who has made a home with you and intends to keep it. I gave him the most ordinary answer. It was the most extraordinary feeling. Sometimes the moment you most want to survive without being seen is the exact moment the right person finds you. Let them